Dog Training and Behavior with Lucy, and today we're going to work on how to teach your dog how to crawl backwards. So this is a fun and complicated trick, and it's going to require you guys to do a little bit of free shaping. So free shaping is where I start to click small movement that is similar to what I want, but not the whole picture. So think of crawling backwards. It requires a down, it requires motion in the limbs, it requires motion backwards, and then eventually it requires motion backwards for a certain amount of distance. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to click and treat those small approximations of the behavior I want until eventually I have that full behavior, and then I'll put it on cue. So what we do, we're going to start by clicking and treating our dogs for laying down in front of us. Try to sit nice and still, and I'm going to start to click anytime she moves her body. So it could be shuffling of her hips, it could be shuffling of her front end. I'm going to wait till she offers something for me, and then I'm going to click and treat her. Good girl. So we've got a little bit of motion in the front and in the back. There we go, good girl. And each time you reward your dog for something, they're figuring out exactly what it is that you want. And once you start to reward motion, they'll start to offer you more and more. Oh, there we go. We got a little shuffle. Oh, good girl. Yes, nice. Nice, good girl. Yes, good girl. You're so smart. Okay, down. Nice. So now I'm gonna sit nice and still. I do want to try to get that treat directly to her because I'd like eventually for the behavior to be her crawling away and staying in place versus her crawling away and coming back towards me, which is why I'm delivering the treat directly to her instead of asking her to come to me for the treat. Oof, you all right? Goodness. Ooh. Bless you. Good girl, I'll take that. I'll take that small motion. Yep, good girl. All right, so now that I'm getting some good shuffles, I'm gonna ask her for more. So that basically means I'm waiting her out until she offers more for me. Yeah, there we go. Girl. You are so smart. Good girl. Yep. Awesome. So now I'm requesting that she travels more distance backwards before she earns that treat.
Lucy here is an experienced free shaper. She is used to offering behavior and understands the concept of a clicker. If your dog is new to this, it might take your dog several sessions before they are ready to have this much distance and get your cue. Be patient with your dog. Work in 2 to 3 minute sessions and take a break sooner if you notice their enthusiasm start to drop off or they get distracted. Free shaping is really hard for the brain. You can break up these short 2 to 3 minute sessions with play or an opportunity to go outside and sniff. Don't worry, these breaks will actually help your dog. When you sit back down to start free shaping again, they will jump right back into the behavior. Continue clicking and treating this motion backwards and be mindful about when you ask for more and when you reward them. If you notice any signs of frustration like vocalization or offering other behaviors besides the wiggling backwards, then it's a good indicator you need a break. After several sessions of work, once you have the full behavior that you want, then you are ready to put it on cue.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and put this on a verbal cue. My verbal cue is gonna be beeping, like the sound of a truck backing up. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give my cue, wait for the behavior that I want, and then once I get the end of it, I will click and treat it. All right. Beep, beep, beep. She was like, what is that? Come here. Beep, beep, beep. Good girl. Come on. Beep, beep, beep. Good girl. Beep, beep, beep. Beep, beep, beep.
Remember that before we add the cue, we need to make sure we have the full behavior that we want. So if you want 5 feet of a backwards crawl, make sure that you shape that before you begin to add your cue. When you are adding your cue, your goal is to say the word just before the behavior happens. As you could see, Lucy thought my cue was a little strange at first, and there was a little delay in her response. This is totally normal. As you begin to work through sessions on adding your cue, remember that the picture matters. Here I'm sitting down the whole time I'm practicing, so if I ever wanted to stand, I would need to make that transition slowly.